If you're feeling stressed out, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you don't know if you can keep going, if you don't know if you can deal with the next thing that's coming, there's this running joke that every month that we go through in this year, it seems like something big comes every month, every week, every day. In terms of how things work, in terms of religion and in terms of spirituality and just the science and the universe in general, there's so much we don't understand. So I don't know. Maybe purgatory is like if you get through 2020 and at the end of it you're on your knees saying, whatever I did wrong, please make it all stop. I'm sorry. Then who knows? Maybe we are at purgatory. I posted on my social media sites a while back asking people if they had any questions or any video ideas just to submit them. But I got an email, and the email, I didn't know how to take it. I didn't know for sure if the person was serious, and I didn't want to email them back and ask, are you for real or is this like a joke? But the question that the person asked was whether I thought 2020 was purgatory. I have to tell you, when I first read the email, I did take it as sort of like, not necessarily a joke, but sort of as like sarcasm, I guess is maybe the best word for it. But then I thought about it, and I feel like maybe the person actually did mean it, and you might actually be watching this video. So I took it as being a serious question. I don't think that 2020 is literally purgatory. I grew up in a very religious environment, and so I'm familiar with the concept of purgatory. I know what it is. Traditionally, the concept of purgatory is much more connected with Catholicism, and it's basically viewed as a cleansing period. And I'm going to give a disclaimer here. I'm not an overly religious person. I'm very spiritual, but I do want to sort of give a background on this. The concept is that for those people who are aware of their sins, they know that they have sinned, and they feel guilt or they feel shame or they feel remorse or whatever about that sin, but they did not actually go through the process of confessing it. Those people are put into a situation referred to as purgatory. There's this idea of purgatory being a place, and it's actually more in theory a process. I'm not a theology expert. I'm not an expert on religion. I am not practicing anything other than practicing human and trying to do the best job that I can at it. So I'm not going to do a video that is specific to the concept of purgatory. But this question did allow me to try to think about the fact that 2020 has been a wild, crazy year, and there's so much. Across the board, everyone's stressed out. Everyone feels that the world is wonky and weird and not how it should be. And so 2020 has been very strange. I think we can all agree on that, even if we don't agree on the best way forward or the best ways to deal with it or the best ways to fix it. What I want to talk about in this video is the fact that I personally believe that everyone here right now in 2020 made a very conscious decision to be here for this, all of this. This allows me to talk to you guys a little bit about some of my own personal beliefs, and it's something that I want to do more on this channel. I think we chose to be here. I think we chose to experience the things that we are choosing to go through right now. This leads me to a concept that I think I need to talk about: the notion that time, as we experience it, as humans mark time, a linear progression from the past to the present into the future. That's not really how time is. Time is something that everything that's happened, everything that is happening, everything that will happen has already sort of happened. And we are just stuck going through it, sort of like navigating through some sort of thick substance that we can't quite break out of. We can maneuver ourselves in it. We can make choices to move from one direction to the other. But birth to death is something that we just experience as moment to moment. But that isn't necessarily how time actually is. Time is something that humans perceive, but it's not really something that truly exists in the way that we define it. I hope I didn't lose you there, because it's a little bit challenging to explain that. But I think most of you who watch my videos or who watch these types of videos are probably already familiar with that concept. I think that humans are spirits, souls that have chosen to have the experience of being human. I chose to be this person. I chose to have the life that I've had. I chose to be confronted with the situations that have confronted me. I chose to eventually become someone who started YouTube and did videos talking to people. I saw these options that might be and said, I want to be that person. Coming from that perspective, it actually is very empowering because it means out of all the things I could have been, of all the people I could have been, all the lives I could have led, I chose this one. There must be some reason for that, right? I could have been Oprah, but I chose to be Keegan. Let's add a layer to it. I chose to be this person, and I also chose to be in a specific time frame. The time frame from my birth to whenever I die was the time period that I chose as well. Now, this is where it gets a little bit weird. And if you watch Doctor Who, you might understand the reference of it being a little bit timey-wimey. Because I do believe that we could choose to be another person in another time. Stay with me. I do believe that I could choose to go back and have the experience of Napoleon. It doesn't necessarily mean that I could change the story of Napoleon. I think Napoleon is a very specific person who did very specific things, who lived in a very specific timeline, who interacted with very specific people. It's almost like looking at a movie, let's say, and saying, I want to play that role. Maybe that role was originally played by a different actor, but another actor could come along and tell the same story and have that same experience of being that character. For those of you who have not clicked away because you think that this is way too far out there and you just were totally not into it, I think that there's another layer to this that a lot of you might already be thinking about if you're still listening to me. And that's the fact that, in all honesty, all of us are connected. We are all part of one thing. For me, I believe that there is some type of source consciousness. That might be what you refer to as God. It might be what you refer to as the universe. But there's a source consciousness. And that consciousness has made the decision to split parts of itself off to go and experience itself. I am me, but I'm also you watching this video. We're just experiencing ourselves from different perspectives. It's really interesting because when you think about it from that angle, that I could just as easily after death come back into whatever I am from originally and have the input of being me, doing what I've done, loving the people that I loved, experiencing the pain that I felt, and add that into something that is much bigger than me, but is still me. And it's one of those things that has allowed me in 2020 to keep my energy from becoming a little bit chaotic. I've been doing a lot of work to try to keep my own personal energy balanced, to keep it even. And part of the reason that that's been possible for me is because I do believe I knew this was coming. I saw this as being either something that was for sure I was going to go through, or at least something that was possible. I got to see what might be. I got to know everything that could happen. And I still chose this. I still chose to be this person. There was something about it that I felt would allow me to grow or evolve or bring something back with me that was special, bring something back with me that was needed, an understanding that was missing from that greater consciousness that was trying to understand itself, trying to understand what it was or how it worked. And I chose this. And I knew all of the craziness, all of the upheaval, the fact that people are so divided right now and that people struggle so much right now to understand each other. I knew that this might be something that I might find myself in. And I still decided to do it. For the person who asked me if I thought this was purgatory, no, not necessarily in terms of like what purgatory actually is in terms of a religious concept. I don't think it's that. But in terms of us being able to utilize this chaos and this craziness and the stress and seeing all the pain and suffering and having everything coming at us at once, 2020 feels like it has been a year where everything is just coming to the surface and demanding to be dealt with. that does kind of feel like an opportunity for us to confront some of the things that we should probably feel some emotions about. Maybe we should look at things that have happened and say, I'm really sorry that that happened. I want it to be different. You decided this was what you wanted to do. And you knew that whatever's going on in your life right now might be something that you would need to navigate. But you saw that and you still felt like this life, this experience, being this person in this time period, had something to offer for you as a spirit, as a soul, as a part of something that's bigger than all of us. You saw something in this experience that you believed was worth it. And if you can take nothing else away from this video other than that you felt it was worth it and you felt that you could do it, I think that might be enough to help. I just wanted to address the question and do a video about it, open up a little bit, start a dialogue, and just maybe try to offer a little bit of a different perspective or a different outlook, a little bit of hope about a year that has been really crazy so far. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you will leave me comments. If you did like it, please take a moment to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. I do see a lot of you guys watch my videos and you don't subscribe, and I take it personally. Please take a moment to subscribe to the channel. I would love to see you guys join up. And I will be in the comments on this video, reading through things, responding back to people, seeing what you guys think about this. And if you liked this type of video, I'm happy to talk more about anything along this topic, even if it's just me finding the comfort to open up a little bit more to you guys and be a little bit more willing to share where I come from and what I believe. I love you guys so much. I hope that you are doing well. Hang in there. We're going to get through 2020. It's going to be okay in the end. We got this.